You done now?
Anybody else want a whiskey?
Yeah.
All right, look, pay attention, everybody. Wadsworth, am I right in thinking there is nobody else in this house?
No.
Then there is someone else in this house.
No, sorry. I said no, meaning yes.
No meaning yes? Look, I want a straight answer. Is there someone else or isn't there? Yes or no?
No.
No, there is or no, there isn't?
Yes.
Please! Don't you think we should get that man out of the house before he finds out what's been going on here?
Yeah.
How can we throw him outside in this weather?
If we let him stay in the house, he may get suspicious.
If we throw him out, he may get even more suspicious. If I were him, I'd be suspicious already.
Oh, who cares? That guy doesn't matter. Let him stay locked up for another half an hour. The police will be here by then, and there are 2 dead bodies in the study.
Shh. Well, there is still some confusion as to whether or not...
There's confusion. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Clue the Movie Podcast, where we break down the 1985 cult classic movie Clue 1 minute at a time. My name is Brad Gilmore, joined as always as the number 4?
It depends on the day.
It depends on the day, but in the top 10,
Yeah.
he's somewhere hovering in the top 5. The director
Usually, yeah.
of Who Done It, the Clue documentary. It is Jeff Smith. Jeff, how you doing, man?
Yes, good. Yeah, we've been dancing around on Screenbox's top 5. 4 is as high as we've gotten. We kind of dance around the Robert Englund documentary. It's tough to beat Freddy Krueger. And also Sharknado is very high in the top 10, but I attribute that to Shark Week, which is now over. So we'll see.
It's very interesting. Shark Week is
Yeah.
over. They actually have a big shark exhibit going on here in Houston that I actually want to go to be honest with you. But let me ask,
Were
man.
you somewhere else? Did you not? Were you not in Houston this last week?
I was in Miami, Florida for
Yes.
several weeks where they have sharks there too, I've heard.
Real sharks.
Yeah, real ones, big ones. And yeah, man, no, I really enjoyed the time there in Miami. Actually, as we're taping this, after we wrap, I'm going to go to dinner, which is typically what I do in the evening time. And then I'm holding in my hands, people can't see this, but you can see, it's 2 tickets to the Alley Theater to go see an Agatha Christie play, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd.
You do look very nice right now. I wish people could see. You are looking very dapper.
Thank you.
I, as usual, in the hoodie and baseball hat, so I'm not going anywhere tonight.
Well, and I might be strange at this, but I like to dress to go to the theater. A lot of people don't, but I just feel like it's part of the thing. Let's get dressed up and go to the theater.
Right. It's your costume. You're part of it. It's like if you go to a baseball game, you wear the hat and the jersey.
Yes.
Pretend you're on the team.
Yes, of course.
Although we don't do that. Well, I guess some movies you do that. I'm sure Star Wars movies, if it's the opening night, people go dressed, Marvel and whatnot. But I think
Barbie
people should go dressed all. Yeah, Barbie. I remember in a past life, I was dragged to the Sex and the City movies, and all the women there were all in groups of 4. They had all planned it out, and you could tell we're going to go see the movie, and I'm Samantha.
Well, yeah, you could probably spot a Samantha pretty easily.
Yeah.
Now,
They're the ones that will say it.
I'll say this: we're about to jump into the podcast. We have an email that we want to read from one of our Cluvians. But you want to know something fun about this? Because normally in my normal studio, I have a big picture of Johnny Carson behind me, right, from the Tonight Show, autographed. Not to me, but just an autographed photo of him. This jacket I'm wearing was a part of the Johnny Carson collection, his run of suits that he had in the 70s. And this one was, look at that, it says Johnny Carson.
He's showing me the label right now.
On the inside pocket. So this jacket's older than I am, but I'm a
Vintage.
huge fan. I've gone down to eBay. I probably shouldn't be giving this information out because people might be all up on it now.
Well,
But
now
I've
they
been
can
going-
cosplay as Brad Gilmore.
Yes, I've been going down to eBay rabbit hole buying all the Johnny Carson collection jackets. Size 40R if anybody wants to get me an early birthday gift.
Nice.
They're all on the eBay, and I've been buying them all up whenever they come available. So now I have like
Have
7
you
or 8.
gone as far as to start getting the ascots and the things he's famous scarves that he was famous for wearing in the 70s?
The ascot.
Some of those clips are it's quite entertaining to watch what was fashionable on late night television in the 70s.
The ascot's a hard one to pull off, man. I don't think that I can do it. But you know what? I
Maybe
appreciate
as
Johnny.
you age.
Maybe so, and I have a little salt and pepper in the hair here. But why don't you kick us off? We're about to jump into minute 44, which there was a lot there. But why don't you kick us off with an email that we got from a Cluevian out there? And by the way, the Clueniverse here is just blowing up. The Clueniverse is massive. Everybody loves being a part of the Clueniverse, and I love hearing from the Cluevians. So let's hear from one right now.
So if you are a Cluevian and you want to write in, a couple ways you could do it. You could go to cluepodcast.com. There is a contact page on there. This is where Adam sent his email, but you could also send us messages on X, which our X is at @clue_podcast. So any of those will do. But I sometimes get it on the Whodunit page as well. So whatever, we'll see it. Anyway. So Adam has theories. He has a fan theory and a question. He starts it with, "Hi, guys." I like it already. Inclusive. Big fan of the show. It's oddly addictive. First of all, let's stop right there.
Let's stop.
Right there. I don't even, if that were the whole email, I'd be happy just with that. Because not only does it say it's oddly addictive, he has the ... between it's ... oddly addictive. So there's like he purposefully wants us to pause in thought as he thinks, how do I describe this addiction I have of your Clue the Movie podcast? It's oddly addictive. When we start making merch,
oh yes, of course,
oddly addictive is going to be on something. Anyway, big fan of the show. It's oddly addictive. Anyway, he says anyway too. Anyway, as a fellow Cluevian, I wanted to thank you for the show. It's been an insane amount of fun. And I just picked up the documentary from Amazon and enjoyed that as well. Thank you. I was listening to minute 40 the other day when you were talking to Laker Jim. Shout out to Laker Jim. And suddenly something clicked. You were asking how any of the Mr. Body stuff made sense. I guess we were. Why would he get everyone together? Why the weapons? We actually asked this a lot. Consider this. Keep in mind that there is no basis for any of this, which could also be a tagline for the podcast. There is no basis for any of this. And I'm trying to shoehorn in plot details that are never explained. But here's my theory. This works if Tim Curry is Wadsworth or Mr. Body. The game characters were never meant to be at the mansion at all.
Whoa.
What? Yes. That's a big theory because that just destroys the entire movie. Mr. Body, if it's Lee Ving, instructed Wadsworth to gather all his informants together at the house. The informants. So that would be the cook, the motorist, the Yvette,
right,
the cop, the singing telegram girl. The gifts were weapons intended to get rid of the informants. Something happened. I saw a blink.
You saw?
Still okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something flashed on the screen. Sorry, everybody.
Okay.
I get distracted. The gifts were weapons intended to get rid of the informants. They'd already done their job. They informed. Body has the info he needed, so they were superfluous to his plans. He brought the gifts so that he could murder them. And further, he has a poetic side because he brought a gift that was pertinent to their role. For the cook, knife. For the maid, candlestick. For the cop, gun. For the motorist, wrench. For the singing telegram, a lead pipe to represent a microphone. Okay. For rope, Wadsworth, the only way two people can keep a secret is for one of them to be dead. Instead, Wadsworth sees this as an opportunity to bring together all the people who are being blackmailed to get them to confront not only their blackmailer, but also the people who turned on them. That's if Curry was Wadsworth. But why would Tim Curry, if he's Mr. Body, want the people there? I think Body was about to turn things up a notch. Body planned with his butler to conduct the plan as stated above, but Body decided to throw in a twist. Let his victims watch him eliminate his informants one by one. He already has what he needs, and this is his opportunity to show his victims what happens if they stop paying. So When his butler gets there, if Lee Ving is the butler in this version, he's confused about why the victims are there. What are they all doing here? Only the informants were supposed to be there. So when he sees the people there, he sees an opportunity to whack his employer as well. So he plays along long enough to give the presents to the victims instead, thinking they go ahead and kill Wadsworth. He thought they'd be too afraid of being exposed, so he says the only way to prevent that is to kill Wadsworth. Okay, that last part is a stretch, but the rest I think works. So, to make a long story short, too late. He does write that. That is why the plot of Clue makes perfect sense and is not at all confusing. Enjoy the podcast very much, guys. Thanks for taking the time. Adam just blew my mind.
I'm slow clapping for Adam right now.
Yep.
First of all, I guarantee you this about Adam. He can put a puzzle together in under 30 minutes.
Fast. Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube, seconds. Do you remember those little tests they used to give you in school where you'd have to like imagine, here are the shapes and you have to imagine which shape goes in which way? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Those
Adam
things?
rules.
Adam kills it, man. He can put the pieces together.
Adam is Daniel Craig in Glass Onion when he solves the murder mystery in 2 seconds at the table and ruins the whole weekend for everybody. Adam is a murder mystery weekend ruiner, and I love him for that.
And I love it. Now, I will say, when I first read the email, when you sent it to me, I didn't follow it 100%, but as you've read it aloud, because I am an auditory listener and learner.
And I performed it very well.
And you did a hell of a job. I kind of am in love with this idea.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you're the Clue expert. I feel like this works.
Yeah. I think it might be beyond what was originally thought.
Sure.
But you never know, because Jonathan Lynn, I could forward this to Jonathan Lynn, director, writer of Clue, and he could say, maybe. And that would be the entire response.
Perhaps.
Or maybe not. Maybe Adam is thinking too much about it and should be outside. I don't know. But I think it's cool.
Well, it puts sense to things that we have talked about a lot here that have just been nonsensical, right? Like when you think of, why would they bring the weapons and why would they do this? And this doesn't make sense if you're trying to do this. That kind of does have a nice little through line through the entire thing. And
I will quote him again. That is why the plot of Clue makes perfect sense and is not at all confusing. How dumb are we that not only in one episode, I think we said this makes no sense. I think in multiple episodes, we said it makes no sense. And here comes Adam saying it makes perfect sense and it is not confusing. And there you go, buddy.
Well, you know what, Adam? Thank you for doing that. And if anybody else has any feedback for the show, they want to leave a review, we're more than willing to have you leave a review, and we'll read it. Good, bad, or indifferent, but we prefer the good ones. I mean, we're only human. We prefer the good ones, but we'll read them all. And if you have any theories that you want to share with us that might illuminate something, because I'm sure there are a lot of Cluevians out there listening to this show and go, guys, how do you not see this? It's right there in front of your face. CluePodcast.com. Fill out the contact form, and we will get it on and popping. We will understand better with your help, because this is a journey, guys. We're all in it together. Let's talk about minute 44.
Yes.
There's a few things here. One, there's the iconic argument between Mustard and Wadsworth.
No, there isn't.
What?
No, there isn't an argument, or there is.
You were saying no.
I'm sorry, I meant no meaning yes.
No meaning yes, there is an argument, but no, it's not iconic. Please. The Mrs. White iconic. Please was crazy, by the way. What stands out to you about minute 44?
Well, it's probably my favorite. I don't know. I'm going to take that. It's one of Mustard's best moments. He definitely gets to shine. I like that before he begins this interrogation, he tells everyone, all right, pay attention. Because he wants everyone to be watching as he takes over. And this minute and the next minute, it becomes the Colonel Mustard Show. We also in this minute, and I'm sure you noticed it, especially seeing it in crystal clear on a larger computer than I'm used to, the writing on the fireplace. And I know you spotted that because you always spot like that. There's something engraved on the fireplace that Mrs. White is standing next to.
And what does it say?
Well, it's in French, and that's why it's hard for me to pronounce it. But it's noblesse oblige, Noblesse is the first word, and then
we're gonna do our. Is it
Go
something
ahead.
oblige, right?
oblige, yeah.
Say French to English. So
No,
spell it out for me.
Oh, sorry, hold on. It's a reference to that, but what it actually says is nouveau riche oblige, Nouveau.
Nouveau.
Yes, and then Riche, and then oblige, Oblige.
Oh, you ready for this?
Yep, you already know.
Nouveau riche oblige stands for a literal translation: new rich forces. A little ominous there, a little New World Order sounding.
Yeah, they're not the wrestling New World Order.
Not the NWO, brother. Not that one.
So
what do you think?
Mean?
What do you think?
Why is it there? No, I'm asking you. Why? You think it was? I don't think that's in the script, and I'm sure it's probably just set design. But who's it? It's important enough that it is very clear in the shot.
Edit point. First time in Clue the Movie podcast history. We had a technology malfunction there for a moment. But if I were to think about what the phrase could possibly mean, I feel as though, look, this is a big house. Obviously, there's some ominousness around it, right? The house itself is a little bit creepy. I feel like it could be prone to secret society, the proper owners of the home. This is in New England. We could have like a lot of well-to-do political figures,
Politicians. I was thinking that
people in power, who could be trying to plot some overthrow. We're coming off of McCarthyism, right, where there's already a lot of paranoia in the air, and this could be a secret society a-brewing, the new rich forces.
Yeah, obliged to act accordingly, and that's their little. I wonder if in the past they gathered in this room and had their secret meetings by the fire and locked up weapons in their cabinets.
I almost guarantee it, to be quite frank.
Yeah,
like I almost guarantee it that had
this
to
would
happen.
be like this is like the Continental in the John Wick movies. It's like this. It's like weird society. Yeah, this should be a TV series.
Yeah,
on Paramount Plus.
It should be. Paramount Plus.
Get on it, guys.
So I don't see anything in the script about it. Now we can recap this minute here within the script, and let's see if there's any major differences here. So in the library, everyone stands around nervously. Colonel Mustard pours himself a stiff drink and tries to take charge. Colonel Mustard, anyone else want a whiskey? Miss Scarlet, Mr. Green, and Professor Plum all step forward to help themselves. Colonel Mustard said, "Right. Pay attention, everyone. Wadsworth, am I right in thinking there is nobody in this house?" "No." Colonel Mustard eyes him anxiously. "You mean there is someone else?" Wadsworth, "No, I meant yes. Sorry." Colonel Mustard confused. "What?" Wadsworth realizes he has created confusion and tries to explain, but the speed at which he offers his explanation is too great for the Colonel. "When I said no, I didn't mean no, you're wrong. There is somebody else here. I meant yes, there's nobody else here. In other words, I should have said no, you're right." Colonel Mustard confused. "No, you're right?" Wadsworth, "Yes, no." Colonel Mustard laboriously. "Yes, no?" Wadsworth cannot see why Colonel Mustard is confused. Wadsworth, "Yes, I meant no. No meaning yes, nobody else." Colonel Mustard repeats this. "No meaning yes?" Then Colonel Mustard looks around desperately at the other guests. They all look really confused. Wadsworth tries to explain to the Colonel Mustard talking down to him somewhat patronizing smile, with a somewhat patronizing smile. Wadsworth, I'm afraid it's you and your double negatives again. Colonel Mustard, snapping, shut up about those, will you? Wadsworth shuts up, and then that's when Mrs. White, please! And then the scene continues on.
Here we go. Very different.
Very different.
Yeah, much more of a who's on first kind of delivery in that than what happened. I prefer what they did, I think.
Oh, I definitely prefer what they
shorter,
did.
But,
it was shorter and it was
simpler.
funnier. It was more to the point of the joke. The point of the joke was to
Yeah.
cause a confusion and play on the dimness of Colonel Mustard.
Right.
And I think that Wadsworth enjoyed it more than more in the movie version than in the script, because I feel like Wadsworth was doing it intentionally to confuse him.
Maybe. Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think it comes across as patronizing in the movie. I think because I don't think. Well, he does kind of mess with them later when he does the "Can you keep a secret? So can I." So I think Wadsworth. I think you're right. I think Wadsworth does like showing. Well, you don't need any help from me, sir. I was going to say he likes showing Colonel Mustard how stupid he is.
Yeah.
And it happens a lot. And this is a wonderful example of him confusing poor, thinks he's smart, definitely is not Colonel Mustard.
Well, after they have this little back and forth, Mrs. White does her big yell, talks about the motorist. They're all concerned about the motorist. And then Mrs. Peacock does her very over-the-top yell about, who cares if he's here or if he's not? It doesn't matter that the police
Let
are
him stay.
coming. Let him stay, and there are dead people in the house.
There's 2 dead bodies in the study.
And then this is my favorite part, right? Is when they all turn around and shh, which is a big trailer moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very, when you think about why Mrs. Peacock is the favorite character of some Cluvians, it's when she loses her mind. It's when she screams about the poison. It's when her hat gets in her way in the previous moments. And then right here, she's just losing it.
Well, I will say that this, again, was different in the script. This is really fun to look at the original script because I feel like the shush is a big... In my mind, it's iconic just because it's in every trailer of Clue. Every time you see the movie, you remember this piece. I feel like it's very memeable. I've seen it in GIFs before, things of that nature, or GIFs if you want to be one of those people.
Gigawatts,
however you want to say it. But this is interesting. So Mrs. White goes, please, can we do something about this motorist? Shouldn't we get him out of the house before he finds out what's going on here? Miss Scarlet, yeah. Professor Plum, how can we? He's presumably calling a breakdown service. How can we turn him out of in this weather? All right. The argument is proceeding at a panic-stricken speed. Love how they characterize some of this stuff. Miss Scarlet, if we let him stay in the house, he may get suspicious. Professor Plum, if we throw him out, he may be even more suspicious. Colonel Mustard, if I were him, I'd be suspicious already. Then here comes Mrs. Peacock. Look, that motorist doesn't matter. Let him stay locked up for another half an hour. Who cares? The police will be here by then. And there are 2 dead bodies in the study. And then the next line is from Mr. Green. Well, what do you suggest? No shush is in the script.
Oh.
In the original draft, there is no shush.
I wonder when the shush came into play.
Because it seems like an obvious moment, right? Because you have a motorist locked up and someone's screaming about dead bodies being around.
Yeah.
You would be like, shut the hell up, you crazy woman. We don't want him to know that.
And it's a nice bonding moment for everybody. They all do it in unison together. They all come together to want Miss Peacock shut up. It's interesting that in the script version, they use the term motorist a lot more than the actual movie does. I think they only say motorist once in the final script. And it's when Wadsworth is reenacting when they open the door to throw away the key. And then he goes, the motorist, which I remember as a kid, I didn't quite understand what he said because I didn't know. I don't think I even knew. I guess it's not that hard to figure out what a motorist is, but I never heard someone that was driving a car was identified as the motorist. So in the movie version that we just saw, Mrs. Peacock says that guy doesn't matter. She doesn't say the motorist, and Plum certainly doesn't say, the motorist is calling AAA.
That would be odd.
Whatever.
Be an odd comment.
That would be. Yeah.
But but in the script, he goes, he might have already called in. I love the characterization of it being a breakdown service. I guess that's what they used to call it, a breakdown service. It's pretty fun.
It's definitely wordier and doesn't need to be. So I guess they wanted the speed more than anything, and we get it.
We get it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to throw him out in that weather. It's terrible.
It's terrible. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
If he goes out in the weather, suspicion.
Now we'll pick up where this argument leads and where the group leads in the next minute. I don't know. Is there anything that we didn't get to in this? I mean, I do like how Colonel Mustard sloppily pours the drinks. That's fun.
We talked about last episode how they all are very willing to drink again, even though they were very suspicious minutes ago that all the drinks were poisoned. But they're thirsty. I don't remember Mr. Green. It said in the script that Mr. Green is one of the ones that decides to go for a whiskey. Yes. That surprised me because I know Scarlett definitely goes, yeah, me. And that makes sense. It's interesting in scenes when Yvette is passing out brandy, who takes it and who doesn't, because some of them turn it down and some of them do. And I don't know if Mr. Green would want to be drinking on the job.
It is surprising, but when I have the freeze frame here before he pours the glasses, it's Colonel Mustard pouring the beverages, and it's Professor Plum, Miss Scarlet, and Mr. Green all approaching the brandy station with Yvette in the background.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting there. So I mean, maybe I don't know. That is a strange character thing because again, if we are still continuing with the idea that Mr. Green isn't the real Mr. Green, it is interesting that you wouldn't want to blow your cover,
right?
And by getting drunk, perhaps loose lips sink ships.
Maybe he takes it but doesn't drink it. He could be like smelling it, trying to see. Now he's got his chance to examine the beverage. He sensed the poison accusation. Who knows?
It could have, man. You don't know. But I
it
think
could be, and it could not be.
It Jonathan Lynn might know, or he might not know.
And he might be full of something.
Well, I don't think that there's anything left on the bone for this particular minute. I hope that you all have enjoyed going through this. I really like having the old script there with us so we can compare scene to script to screen.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how different one scene can be with just different dialogue, and it changes so much, the character and the pace and the word motorist.
The motorist for sure. The motorist for sure, man. So cluedoc.com, you can get on Screenbox still as well. Amazon Prime is where I bought my digital copy. I own the Blu-ray as well. You gotta support. I'm a physical media guy still, so you want to go ahead and get that. And you can find us. Send us a message at cluepodcast.com, which is fun. Yeah. You can send us a message there. Easiest way to get us.
What else do people say at the end of podcast? 5 stars.
5 stars. Review, subscribe, share, refer a friend to get $5 off your next podcast. Oh wait, that doesn't work.
Is that real?
No, that doesn't work.
$5 off of free?
Yeah. Which means technically someone would owe you $5.
That's right. If you refer a friend, we'll allow you to skip the commercials at the beginning of the episode that I know you all listen to all the way through. I know I do.
I know I do every time.
Every time.
Yes. So if you refer a friend...
Don't ask me who they are, but I'm sure they're really great businesses. That aren't just randomly placed.
They're not. But this has been minute 44 of Clue Movie Podcast at Jeff Smith. I'm Brad Gilmore. We'll be back next week with minute 45 of this great show.